let's jump into a wide receiver that Mike Norvell has named, someone that has stood out to him. Like we were mentioning earlier, Mike Norvell has not. He's kind of been bleak on a lot of things. But so when he says a player, we got like, oh, here we go. Let's get the article ready, baby. But he named Jaylen Brown, former LSU transfer wide receiver, as someone that is impressing early in this 2025 spring. He says, a guy I'm really proud of for the last week plus. I'm seeing some positive strides in Jaylen Brown. He's got great ability. It's just the consistency of that performance, that push and strain, and he's growing up. For the things he did when he got the ball in his hands were great, but the things that he was doing without the ball in his hands too, that's what he needs to show. I thought he had a good day in doing that. So I think the thing here that points out to me is that he's growing up. There's number one. And then number two, the things that he's doing outside of when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, because we saw games last year where that was the case, and some instances where there was some collapse, I felt like, and blocking definitely too, and where could maybe have utilized his speed. And what was that pick six? What was that game? Was that SMU?
SMU. Yeah.
Yep. The SMU game there where, Jaylen Brown just kind of looked like lackadaisical and trying to make a play and trying to save a touchdown from happening. The little thing, really, actually, they're big things. And what Mike Norvell emphasizes on and his offenses is wide receivers making their blocks and doing things away from when they do have the ball in their hands. And that's something that where he, like mentioning, has to grow up in and get better at. And Jaylen Brown, I'm sure too, having Squirrel White in the building as well, a guy with some veteran experience, is helping and maybe helping build some growth and some leadership there for Jaylen Brown, because those two guys are going to be some of your speediest on the roster, and where Florida State is going to want to take those explosive and speedy shots downfield. Good to see Jaylen Brown making some strides.
Yeah, I thought you kind of said it all. It was a disappointing first season in Tallahassee for Jaylen Brown last year. A lot of hype for him coming over from LSU after Florida State recruited him out of high school, and just wasn't able to reach that level for whatever reason. We saw some flashes in practice. It just never really got out there onto Saturdays. Dealt with some injuries as well. But Logan, you kind of went over it. It just felt like he got pushed around a little bit. As a receiver, as a guy, trying to block, and then the effort at times. I mean, it makes you question. So it's good to see him respond a little bit. A couple weeks ago, Mike Norvell publicly challenged both Jaylen Brown and Hakeem Williams to take that next step. And then now, we get a mention of both of those guys along with Elijah Moore after the first scrimmage. So it sounds like they're taking to that challenge and they're pushing themselves. And I mean, they surely have to after how much this wide receiver room faltered in 2024. And that's a big reason why, you mentioned Squirrel White. FSU brought in Deuce Robinson. They brought in a high floor true freshman like Javon Boggs. They've got some guys in this room where, if you're a returning guy and you don't show some real progress here, Tim Harris Jr., he's going to have a different guy out there on the field in 2025.